Hello. Hi, Angel. We're recording. All right, guys. Hi.
There we go. It's recording.
See you. We are joined again together on another Thursday night team call. And so thanks, guys, for taking the time out of your schedule. My 4-year-old boy is up, walking around the house, playing a bazooka right now. Yes, this is the cool thing about. Oh, and I have a bazooka, so it's so. Yeah. So this is the cool thing about what we do as coaches, you guys. We do it in the moments of our time. And you know what? We're busy women, we're moms, we're sisters, we're wives, we're all those things, and we do it all at the same time. So I'm so happy to have my friend Anna Green with us here tonight to to share her journey a little bit about how, and I describe it this way, how she really revisioned herself. She, we've known each other for a while, and we met when we went to a team. We always chatted and talked and supported each other, but we met for real. Well, I was at Summit probably, but then, I don't know, but then we met for real at the team leadership retreat in Utah, the Diamond Retreat, and that was amazing. To just spend time with this beautiful, energy-giving person that Anna is, and just, I don't know, we just had a really, I thought we had a really awesome connection, and also she can sing, she's a singer, and she's amazing, so, yeah, so anyway, she was doing these live videos up on my Facebook page, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Anna, so I went and started like perusing what she was doing. And guys, I was blown away. Like, I couldn't take my eyes and ears off of what I was hearing. Just the way she was teaching her Facebook audience about just life skills, really. She's like become a life coach is how I describe it. But she hasn't walked away, she didn't walk away from coaching. She just stepped back and got a different perspective of what coaching was to her. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. And so she's going to talk about that tonight with you guys, about what we can do to get motivated, to maybe revision yourself. So and I know we all can do that. I'm going to do this real quick. We're not doing that, son. I know you do, but take this to your room. Yes.
Oh, Mama.
Room, real quick. Let's go in here. Come on.
We can all totally relate to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why no one's getting upset. We're like, I did that half an hour ago.
All right,
I know exactly.
I'm going to, so thank you. I just told my husband that Silas needs to go watch it. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, a few announcements. Just one big announcement for you guys. Oh, there he is. There he goes. That are starting April 3rd is our All Access Challenge Pack is going to be $160. That is really awesome. That's really going to, that's just, not that it's not already amazing, like at $199.99 for the year, and basically $100 for your Shakeology, which, that's about what we as coaches pay for our 30 meals, a month. And the awesomeness that Shakeology is. But really, that's about what? $40 for Beachbody On Demand for the year, really? And if you break it down, I was trying to think about it in the car. That's pretty spectacular. So the All Access Challenge Pack is $160, and that's going to be, hi, Jill. And that's going to be awesome. So that's a big announcement. That's kind of my big one, because we have today and tomorrow to help 3 people with their fitness goals. And people come out of the woodwork, guys, at the end of the month because they're finally ready. And they say yes a lot, especially in your follow-ups with people in your conversations. So that'll absolutely happen for you. Just make sure you're following up and you have some type of system you're using to figure out who those people are. Because I have definitely let people fall through the cracks before with not having a good system. So, all right. So those 2 things. And that's really it, guys. So, the I Am Team Beachbody, I posted that in our team page. You know, you could, wow. You could figure out your story. Okay. He's hungry at 10 o'clock at night. Okay. If you could figure out I Am Team Beachbody, what is your story? What does that look like? They're putting, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of everything that is in the corporate offices in Utah and in California, but our stories are covering their walls, their ceilings, their floors. They're taking it to the desks. It's awesome. So go check out Carl Deichler's page and check that out. All right. We will go ahead and get started. I want Anna to have the floor and just really inspire you guys to step back, take some perspective, and think about, your coaching life and what that looks like in your own life, because the two meld together. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and the craziness that's happening in my home. I'm going to let Anna introduce herself a little and share the story, and then take us through some actionable items that we can use for business, guys. So let me do that real quick. Let me mute everybody and then unmute. Let's see. Unmute Anna and then mute me. All right, take it away, sister.
Awesome. Thank you, Mona. Thanks so much for the opportunity and for inviting me to be on your team call. I am so inspired by you as a person and as a coach. And yes, that energy experience that we had in Utah up in the mountains, I totally agree with that. You were such a wonderful person. So thank you guys for being here tonight, for joining me. I know maybe when Mona told you who was speaking on the call tonight, you went, who? What is that? So first of all, the whole point of that is to say that I am no better than you. I've been a coach for 3 years, but we're on the same level playing field as far as that is concerned. So please don't think of me as something that you might not be able to attain with what I tell you about. Don't think of it as something that you're not able to do. Think of it as something that you are able to accomplish and change in your life. So just a quick little bit about me. I have been a coach for 3.5 years. Anita Myron is my upline as well. And I had some really amazing initial success when I first started. I started as a challenger, one of those stories, had some great weight loss success, lost a ton of inches, all this kind of thing, became a coach, enrolled in about 4 days, 10 months to be diamond. And then from there, I kind of found that there was a little something that I didn't realize I had, which you might be able to relate to, and many of your clients will definitely be able to relate to, is that once I lost that weight and once I started having the success in business, what I lost was a shield for myself that I was hiding behind that weight. I was hiding a ton of self-doubt. And I didn't realize that because that was, my weight was like my barrier, right? I didn't have to take chances. I didn't have to challenge myself. I didn't have to do any of those things. Well, once that was gone, even though I had this initial success, right? I made it to diamond and all that kind of stuff. That was about as far as I had envisioned myself. So I really had kind of an identity crisis, both personally and as a coach. I realized that my coach obviously was incredibly successful. We had a ton of resources. There was so much information, but there was something missing. For me personally, I just wasn't able to click with that because I was struggling with so much of the self-doubt. I wasn't comfortable posting about the things I was being asked to post about, or the ideas that were being shared and all those kind of things, because I wasn't confident in myself. So what I chose to do is I chose to kind of take a step back and evaluate myself personally, and then also my coaching business, and figure out who I wanted to be. I knew I wasn't being consistent with my posting, with my workouts, with anything. It just kind of started to pile up. I was still being positive. I was still putting these things out there in the world because that's just who I am. I was still messaging people, all of those things, but I wasn't consistent about it. And so that then led me to have even more self-doubt. You might be seeing a pattern there with all of that, right? So where I got to kind of at the line that I drew in the sand was I knew that coaching was a part of what I was called to do.
She's in Colorado. I'm sure she will pop back up in a second. Let me let her know.
Why so frozen?
And is it?
Why so frozen?
Because it is what it is. Oops. I hope she can pop back on. Maybe she needs to go off and come back on. This is the love of Zoom, right, guys? It happens. There she is. She's down there.
What?
Let me unmute you.
My computer just decided to do updates or something.
Oh my gosh, right? Zoom is like
it just shut down. Shut down, said we're doing updates. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I get it. There you go. All right.
So sorry, guys.
No, please. Oh Lord, I'm the frozen queen of Zoom. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Why so frozen?
No.
All right. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna mute myself now. I'm sorry. No, don't be sorry.
Darn PCs. Oh, see, it's why I need a Mac, right? So, anywho, that's where I had gotten to, was that line in the sand that I had to draw and say, okay, I know I want to do this. I still feel compelled. I still feel called. So there's things that I'm really doubting. I had to either decide I'm going to work on those and I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to find some way to be consistent and take action, or I'm just not, and I'm out and I'm done. And what I decided was it was important enough to me, and I felt like the programs and everything about Beachbody and the community that you gain was important enough to me in what it had done in my life, that I didn't feel right not sharing that with other people. So if it didn't jive with me to share it in ways that maybe some other people were sharing it, okay, then I had to figure out how to share it my way, which is exactly what I did and what Mona was talking about recently. So what I want to share with you guys, now that you know a little bit about me, is, sorry, I just reset my camera. The biggest thing that I learned that really has changed my life, I know that sounds pretty dramatic, but it's true, but it's truly changed my business as a coach and just the way that I feel about coaching and finding a passion in it again, is mindset. Mindset. So I know you've probably heard that word, or the words mindset, and it's kind of a catchphrase recently. But what I want to share with you is kind of break it down and tell you about what that actually means, and then how you can use that. I like to call it preparing for your wave. So if you're going out, we're surfing, and you're going out and you're wanting to prepare for that wave that's coming in, you're not just going to sit there and wait for the wave to come to you. And then as soon as the wave comes to you, just be able to just jump up with no practice, with no prep work, with no paddling out to it, any of that. It's just not going to happen. So that's kind of how I've designed this concept to work, is to start preparing yourself for whatever your wave is going to be. You won't know exactly what that is, but you all want it, right? That's why you're here. So what this is going to do is be able to help you prepare for when that comes in, so that you're as ready as you can be. So when we're talking about mindset, the first step is to identify which mindset you have. And I've got a document that Mona will send out to everybody after the call, so you can just kind of go through this on your own. But figuring out what mindset you have. There's two main mindsets. One is called fixed and one is called growth. So the difference between those two comes from a book called Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, which is the bomb. It was like, that was the real eye-opener book for me, honestly. It's a little clinical, but I loved research and that kind of stuff. And it was just amazing to me. She did all this research on people and figured out that there are two mindsets. So the fixed mindset is kind of how it sounds. Your opinion of your talents is that you're born with them, you and everybody else. You're just born with, like, here's your bag of goods. This is your talent. This is what you got. If you have that, you can expand that particular talent, but you can't go and grow and learn into any other areas. This is your bag and that's it. So the fixed mindset is, you really avoid challenge. You don't go seeking challenge, that kind of thing. You try and do things that are a little more temporary. You don't do things that are a lot long-term. You give up easily, and maybe you get frustrated. You don't like the feedback that comes to you. You get really defensive with that. And then on the flip side, the growth mindset is someone who feels like you may be born with some natural talents and things like that, and sure, you can expand on those, but you have to develop any ability that you are going to have. And it doesn't matter if you decide like me, at the age of 40, that you want to do something completely different with your coaching business. Okay, you can do that. If you have the growth mindset, you can do that. If you have the fixed mindset, you're going to and you're not even going to allow yourself to dream in that way. Well, I can tell you, if you're deciding to be an entrepreneur, which you are, if you're a Beachbody coach, that's a little disconnect that I had as well, is you're an entrepreneur. You're not just a coach, right? You are a business owner. This is your business to do with what you will. I will just say it, you will not be successful in this if you have a fixed mindset. End of story. You cannot be an entrepreneur and have a fixed mindset. You will pound your head against every wall that will come up to you. So having a growth mindset is so important, because what you're asking yourself to do and what you're asking your clients to do constantly is grow, right? Is learn new things, is adopt new habits, all of that. You have to be able to take challenges on and take constructive criticism and use it for ways of things that you can learn from your mistakes, and then use that to move forward. It's possible. Everybody has a little bit of fixed and a little bit of growth, right? We're not all growth all the time. It's not like a switch you can turn on. But what you have to do is make a conscious decision that you are going to sit in growth mindset more often than fixed, and that you're going to be aware and realize when the fixed tendencies start to come up, sit in them, not analyze them necessarily, but dig into them a little bit, like Mr. Shaun T would tell us to do. Dig into it a little bit and figure out, what's that about? Is it just fear that you're afraid of what you're asking yourself to do because it's not in your little comfort zone, right? We ask our clients to do stuff like that all the time. We have to ask ourselves to do that too, but you can't do that if you're sitting in a fixed mindset. So once you've figured out more about the mindsets, which one you're living in, and be able to kind of recognize when you're living in the fixed and it's not helping you, the next kind of key to success is belief in yourself. And it's, once again, I say it just like it's fixed mindset. If you have fixed mindset and you don't believe in yourself, you are in the wrong place. If you're saying that that's where you're going to stay, you're going to keep a fixed mindset, and you're going to keep the self-doubt. It's not going to work for you. So you're here, you're on a team call. You obviously don't think that you're going to sit in those places. So what you have to do is believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. And if you don't to start with, or you have that doubt, like I did, there's so many things that you can do to start to grow and start to learn ways to be better to yourself, be more confident in yourself, not put every time that somebody says no to you with an invitation and take that personally, like they're rejecting you as a person. No, they're not. They're rejecting maybe the fact that they're not ready. They're rejecting what's sitting in their bank account. They're making excuses, any number of things, right? They're not rejecting you personally. But if you have self-doubt and you don't believe in yourself, you bet your patootie that you're going to believe that they're rejecting you as a person, and you're just going to go down and down and down and down. And we don't want that. So that belief in yourself, your ability to learn, your ability to grow, and your ability to lead is key. Because you're not only eventually going to be leading your own teams, but you have to think of yourself as a leader with your clients. They are looking up to you. They need you to show them how to do these things and make these habit changes in their life. And if you don't believe that you can do that, you're going to find yourself sitting in a little box again that you probably were sitting in before you started all of this. So step 2, develop your mindset. Find some new ways to talk to yourself and use those ways to get over that self-doubt, start working through it, have those conversations with yourself when you're in the fixed mindset portion of your day, and be able to work through that to move to something else where you can grow. Just like you're growing a muscle, you're growing your mindset, you're growing your belief in yourself. So just a couple examples of how you can do that. Instead of saying something like, I'm not good at this, stop and say, what am I missing? What's the missing piece here? What am I not understanding? What am I not seeing? What is not available to me? Any number of those things. Another example, I give up, right? I quit. No, how about I'll use a different strategy. Think another way around it. If how you're doing it is frustrating you, what are you missing? Again, what's something in there that is not, you're in the fixed mindset, you're not usually able to see it. You have to get growth mindset, get creative, and find a different solution. We'll do another one. I'll never be able to do that. I'll never be able to lead. I'll never be able to be a diamond coach. I'll never be able to be a 5-star, a 15-star, insert whatever here. I will learn how to do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to be a 15-star, first I'm going to tell you, you better figure out why that's important to you, and not just a why on the surface level, but keep asking yourself why and why and why and why and why until you get really, really down to the core, like the Earth's core, right? Your core. And that, if that's important to you, you have to figure out why and start with that. And then, okay, what do I need to learn in order to be able to do that? What skills do I not currently have that I need to have in order to do that? And then what's my plan, one step at a time, to be able to achieve that? So those are just kind of some examples of developing that mindset. And then the last piece is like the preparing, like we were talking about with the wave. You know what you want. If you don't know what you want, I want to encourage you to allow yourself to dream. Doesn't matter what you've achieved in your life to this point. Doesn't matter what you've quit before. Doesn't matter what you've given up on before. It's a totally different ballgame. Today's a new day, right? Dream as big as you want to dream, beyond what you're comfortable with. And then again, say, what do I need to do to get to that? That's the preparing your wave part. You want this big wave that's going to be coming, and you want to be able to stand up and just surf that and ride that out. Okay, what skills do you need to have in order to be able to do that? The last thing is commit to continuous growth. So, one of the things that we talk about a lot in the Team Beachbody world is personal development, right? I'll be the first to say I didn't do a darn thing personal development for like a year and a half. Oh, it was horrible. No wonder I was struggling. Hello. There's a couple of differences when you talk about personal development continuous growth, self-improvement, self-help, whatever you want to put in there, there's a couple of different things that I just want to clarify. One is, sure, there are things that you need to learn as a business person, as an entrepreneur. There's skills that you need to have, marketing, planning, any number of different things that maybe you don't have, that you're not comfortable with. So start learning some of those things. How to, maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, or maybe you want to start a podcast, or maybe you want to just get better at your social media marketing. Okay, those are business focused things that are super important to your business that you have, but they are not you. They are not your soul. They are not your spirit. They are not your mind. Those things all need to be fed too. So when I'm talking about continuous growth, I'm about continuing to learn for business. Third time's a charm, huh? Oh, and now it's sideways. Oh my gosh. Wait, I can't. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay. This is like holding my tripod in my hand. Love it. Okay. See, you learn as you go. Oh man. What was I talking about? Oh, continuous growth. Okay. So you have to sing. I'm going to sing hallelujah at the end of this. I'll tell you what. So with the continuous growth, if you find yourself having doubts, if you find yourself having not believing in yourself, being stuck in fixed mindset more often than you'd like to, you have to look beyond social media training and jab, right hook and all of those kind of things. You have to look beyond that and improve and grow you as a person. So books like by Brene Brown, oh, hallelujah, I love her. Brene Brown is wonderful. Books for you, books that are about building confidence, about believing in yourself, getting over self-doubt. Blow Up Your Barriers is another one. Is that right? No, Just Blow It Up is another one. That's one of my favorites. But those kind of things that grow you as a person, that's another thing that you just have to commit to, that continued growth. And with all of that, everything that you're doing, you're sharing that. You're not keeping it to yourself. You're sharing it on your social media, whatever networks that you're using. You're sharing it when you're meeting with people in person. You're sharing it when you're having phone calls with people. You're sharing it in your groups with your current clients. You're sharing it when you check in with them via text. Whatever you do, you're sharing all of the different pieces of what you're learning. It's not, the key there is it's not linked to a product, right? It's linked to you. You are their coach. You are the person that they're following, that they're looking up to, that they're looking to for guidance, that they're just watching silently, those little ghost stalkers, I call them, that are watching you in everything that you do. They don't like a thing. You don't know they're there. They haven't commented on anything, but they're seeing what you're doing. And that continuous growth is a big, big part of that. That's something you have to commit to, just as you commit to your workouts, just as you commit to your programs, your nutrition, all of those kind of things. It's just as important. So those are the big pieces that I had. And like I said, Mona, I've got that PDF that she can send out to you guys. Of course, I'm open to any questions that anybody has, but I would just encourage you guys to, if you find yourself stuck, just kind of reevaluate and say, what am I missing? And how can I do this differently?
Yeah, thank you. So I would love to know, so that fixed and growth mindset that you spoke of is just so key. And we're trying to do that right now with my eldest, with my 9-year-old, which he's a little bit more fixed than growth. And it's just, it's a natural thing for him. And my other is a little bit more growth and less fixed. And so I'm trying to just go through that with him now, because that book, guys, by Carol Dweck is very good. It is very good. I mean, it's not long, it's pretty short. But so what was would you mind sharing with us what was your Unstuck? What happened? Because you really, I mean, and I want to encourage you guys to go like Anna's Facebook page because she really gives great value with her live videos. They are, they're just really good. And also it's a really good instruction for us because live videos are a part of the Facebook world now. And if you follow, you know who I love, Bob Heilig. He talks all the time about how, live video, it shares you because people want to see you and they want to see get this, they want to see your flaws.
Yeah.
They want to be able to trust you. And Bob says, and Anna, you might want to, I don't know what you think about this, but Bob says, look, you will attract your tribe because of your flaws. And you will repel, that word, you will repel the people that are not meant to be in your tribe. Because if someone doesn't like you because you say a word wrong or your child runs in and blows the bazooka, whatever, or whatever happens, or you go, or your Facebook pops off or whatever, he goes, then they're not your tribe. But your tribe's going to trust you because they're following your flaws, because they have flaws too. So Anna is really great, and you guys need to go watch her because she brings lots of value. And I've learned just in this last couple of weeks, just watching her, I'm like, I learn something every time because of her content. Okay, so back to my question for you. What was your unstuck point? What happened? Where did you go, okay, I'm back and I found it and I'm unstuck? What was it?
Yep. Sure. So honestly, it was a couple of books that I read that just started to have some light bulb moments. The first one that I read was The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. That was really when I had come to a point when I knew there was so much self-doubt, the negative Nelly voice in your mind that we all have to a point. It had become so loud, but I had got another voice with all of the different things that I was learning through Beachbody and through our community and all that kind of thing, that it was the first time in my life that I had something else to say when this negative, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not at your goal weight, so how can you be a good coach? Any number of those things that we all struggle with. I finally had another voice that would hear that and say, no, wait a minute. No, that's not right. So I read that book, Gifts of Imperfection, and she's a shame researcher, basically. So she had some amazing things to say about shame and guilt and just living in vulnerability and being a real person and being human, and that we all have these negative voices that I felt like I was so alone in, but it's not true. We all have them, right? So I read her book that really kind of opened my eyes to, okay, if there's a person whose job it is to research this, and this is one of, her first book, and she's got all these TED Talks, all of that kind of stuff, I am not the only person that struggles with this. And then I read The Mindset, and I had I'd never heard of mindset before. I didn't know, I thought maybe there was something wrong with me, that I was not challenging myself and I would always quit everything, all those kind of things. And then I read the Mindset book and I'm like, oh, there it is, for crying out loud. I had growth mindset tendencies with a fixed mindset. If that makes sense, right? I wanted so much more, and I wanted to be more, and I wanted to do more, and I wanted to share with other people and help them meet their dreams, but I was stuck in that fixed mindset. And it was just reading that, and honestly, there's a little quiz that she has you do. Ooh, hello. There's a little quiz that she has you do in that book, the first couple of chapters, to help you determine when you look at a situation, which way you view it. And that helps you determine if you're more fixed mindset or growth mindset. And I took that, and I was very much fixed mindset. And it was just a huge eye opener to me that I had to make the decision that I was not okay with that. I'd be 8, whatever, how many years at that time. I was old, but almost 40 years at that point. And okay, it got me to that point, but I was not down for that anymore. So, but that, that was 2 years into my coaching journey. and my journey to new life, I like to call it.
Well, like Jill just wrote, she said she remembers meeting you in Vegas at your first summit, and she can see a huge transformation in your mindset, and it's exciting to watch you grow. I get so emotional. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and how you got through all this, and it is so interesting because, I look at you now and I'm like, this mindset thing wasn't part of who you were already. That's so, that gives us so much hope. Because we do. You see a lot of people that really, when they step away from the business, okay, I thought you went away. You step away from the business, and instead of doing what you did, people just close up and they say it wasn't for me, or they close the doors, but what could happen if somebody would not do that and do what you did and take a step back and went, what can I do, and ask yourselves those questions. I'm so thankful you found those books and that you're open to personal development, because that's what this, so much of what we do as coaches is exactly what we're doing here. Changing our own lives first. Really. Oh my gosh, Anna. So this is such an important conversation for us because, we have to be, I get so emotional. I'm ready to cry. Oh my gosh. No, because we have to go into our challenge groups because we said we would help people and be vulnerable there. Like you said, start. If it's hard to share our stories on Facebook right away or share in our social media circles, we share in our challenge groups first of who we are, right? And when we try to be the best challenger that we can be in those groups and tell the people what we're dealing with. And, and then personal development, something I started doing is I create a personal development file in my challenge group, and I'm like challenging them, and I'm like writing things about, mindset and things like that. And they're like, I thought we were just doing push-ups and Fridays. They're like a little uncomfortable because I'm asking them to like tell me things, and I'm like, so this is a super important conversation. So wow, to see that from Jill and to hear that you've changed so much in her eyes just walking through this and seeing what you went through and where was Anna? Where did Anna go? I was like, where's Anna? And then you pop up again and I'm like, oh, there she is.
Yeah. Well, and that's honestly, Mona, you just triggered something for me too that I want to make sure that everybody thinks about real quick is in that. So what I did in that time, I immersed myself in personal development, but I didn't act on anything. I was absorbing. I was a sponge. I was listening to a podcast every time I did the dishes or the laundry or was driving anywhere. My husband was like, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. I absorbed everything I possibly could. I went to therapy. I didn't care. I was just taking it all in. But I wasn't giving it out. I wasn't sharing it. I wasn't taking any sort of action. I wasn't implementing anything I was learning. I was just going from book to book to book, podcast to podcast to podcast, whatever. I never would stop and implement and share and provide value to people, any of that. And what I figured out that was all about me. I was making it about me. Even being afraid to share, being afraid to be vulnerable is about you, right? It's about you being afraid to be judged, to be rejected, to be any of those number things, right? It's not about us. It's about who needs to hear what I have to say. Who really, really, really needs to hear that they are not alone. And if we make it about us and about our baggage and our, fear of whatever, we are depriving the people that need to hear what we are learning and what we have to share. We're depriving them of something that could change their life. Do you want to have that on your heart? I don't want to have that on my heart. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's a big part of it too, is don't just take it in. It's like we have a moral obligation to share whatever it is that we're taking, and we have to share that with people.
Well, that's the key. It's like you can absorb and read and do all the things and have shelves of books, but if we're not putting that out there, what we're learning, even in those tidbits of our, taking something we read that day and putting it on our social media feed and talking about how it's affected us.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. Right. Well, I feel like, isn't there like a superhero like Peter Parker or somebody great when you're given great things, what is it? Come on, somebody help me.
I know, I'm like, oh, how does it end though?
When you're given great things, you have to tell people. Something like that.
That sounds fantastic.
There's some superhero who, I think it's Anna Green. You're the superhero. It's you. Are you wearing a cape? Let's see.
Right. It's behind the screen. Yeah.
AG.
Right.
Okay, so all right. So thank you so much. So listen. Okay, guys, this is so important. So let's make a pact. Let's get a book. Let's get that book off the shelf, or let's get something with Brene Brown or Dr. Dweck or whatever we're doing, and then let's read it. But then let's put it out there and let's implement it, like Anna said, because that's what was her key. That was her turning point. That's the light bulb that went off for her.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness, because I don't think our team would be the team I remember without Anna. So I am so glad that you took a step back, got the perspective, and did something about it. And that shows growth for sure. So go follow her. She has a great website too, Anna Be Changing, and that's never changed. She's always kept the Anna Be Changing. That has always been her handle, her brand, and it's a great website. And then I'll share that PDF the template you sent me and in the page, and Jill, you'll have that too. And we will go from there. And then any questions before we leave, any questions for Anna about anything you guys are struggling with mindset or anything? I'll unmute.
Sure.
If you spray, let me know.
I'm an open book, and I've got like 5 bookshelves of books over there too.
So. I kind of unmuted everybody if anybody has anything that they want to ask real quick. And this is obviously anything. So I think we all struggle with things. What book should I start with? Jill said.
I would say, honestly, definitely for Brene Brown. That's where I was going anyway. So good. No, honestly, I think a really good place to start for anybody who wants to start digging into self-doubt or just value issues or anything like that is Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. That's kind of a good basic for her. And then she's got her second one is Daring Greatly, which is kind of like a step 2 once you've got the basis of that, Daring Greatly. And then Rising Strong is the thing that I read that they were published in that order, or those 3, but Rising Strong is the thing for me that was just like, oh, okay, all right, I get it.
Awesome.
I get it. But yeah, Gifts of Imperfection is a really, really good place to start if you're ready to kind of take that shield down for yourself and start digging in.
Very good. I will add that to our list of All right, guys. If you guys don't mind, let's see. Okay, yeah.
I'm still holding my tripod in my hand.
Filter on it, and Okay, let's go. So on 3, I'll go 1, 2, 3. So 1, everybody ready? I'm reverbing. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. Anna, thank you so much for taking so much time with us tonight. I think this is just a really important conversation. We recorded it, so we'll put it on YouTube so everybody can have it on your teams. And we got to start here. We got to start here with ourselves, right? So stick with it, you guys. This is where we work. We work it here, right here. All right. Have a nice night in Colorado. We need to all go to Colorado and visit, my favorite state ever, and visit Anna.
We do.
Are your children in bed? Are they sleeping?
No, they're upstairs with Daddy. I took the night off. I told them, sorry, I got stuff to get done.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what happened in my house, but that's okay. It worked out.
Hey.
All right. Guys, thank you from all my heart for being here. And Jill, thanks for everybody joining us. Bye. Love you.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye, sweetie.